Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Thursday, March 11th. Before getting today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up having a pretty mediocre day, ended up going 1-1. We won the joint video play with Duke -2 at -112 on DraftKings, as it ended up beating Louisville by double digits. Really sweat-free. Duke was up double digits in the first half before letting Louisville come back before the end of the half. Then the second half came around, and Duke just beat them up once again. So a nice, easy winner for Duke, and then we ended up picking up a loss in the play of the day on the solo video with Middle Tennessee State and North Texas under 127 at -110 on DraftKings. Really a tale of two halves. You had 81 points in the first half, and then the second half came around, and you had 51 points combined. I thought the second half pace was going to be the pace for the entire game, but when both teams shoot 60+% from three in the first half, you're going to end up losing pretty low totals when you bet the under. And yet, only lost by 5, so it was close at the end because of the really low-scoring second half. But if you saw the first half and you saw how well they were shooting, it was really just unexpected, and that's just what happens sometimes. But either way, ended up splitting, ended up losing about a tenth of a unit yesterday, so basically broke even. I'll look for a winner here on the solo video on Thursday. And for the play of the day, we're going to be looking at the NBA. It's going to be on a matchup in the Eastern Conference. It's going to be taking place at around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Chicago Bulls. And for the play of the day, we're going to be taking the Bulls here -2.5 at -110 on BetMGM. A time recording of 2:11 a.m. Eastern Time. A couple reasons why I like the Bulls in this spot. First of all, we're going to go through the records of both teams. Philadelphia is 24-12. Overall, one of the best records in the conference. However, it is 8-9 on the road. So if you're doing the math, the Philadelphia 76ers are 16-3 at home, and they have a losing record on the road. So the story in recent years and this year is the fact that this team looks a lot worse on the highway, and this year has been no different. Meanwhile, Chicago is 16-18. It is 7-11 at home, so it has been struggling at home a little bit. But I do think it's a good spot for Chicago to come out and take care of business. And the main reason why is because of the fact that Philadelphia will be nowhere near full strength for this matchup. If you were paying attention during the All-Star break, you would know that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were both scratched at the last minute from the All-Star game because of some contract tracing involving their barber. And as a result, both of them will be out for this game as well, which is why you see Chicago, despite being 16-18, currently being listed as a favorite against one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Now, looking at the numbers for Simmons and Embiid, we both know how good they are, but I'll go through the numbers once again. Embiid right now is the favorite to win the MVP. He's averaging 30.2 points per game and 11.6 rebounds per game, so he's been absolutely unstoppable. Simmons was also an all-star. He's averaging 16.1 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 7.9 assists per game, and he's also averaging 1.6 steals per game. He's currently being listed as the second favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year. So him being out is brutal when it comes to facilitating, as well as being a lockdown on-ball defender, somebody who could potentially guard Zach LaVine. And with him out, I do think LaVine will have a big game. Now, it is worth mentioning these teams did play once this season, and Ben Simmons did not play in that game. Philly still won by 7. However, Joel Embiid in that game had 50 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists. Chicago couldn't guard him, and even with that huge performance by Embiid, Philly still only won by 7. Now Embiid's not playing, and with Embiid and Simmons out, you can expect a lot more minutes from the likes of Shake Milton and Dwight Howard. No offense to Dwight Howard. I know he's a decent bench player now, but I think we can both agree that Philadelphia's offense should look significantly worse without a guy who's averaging 30-plus points per game and a guy who's averaging 16-plus points per game and around 8 assists per game. Philly's missing 2 of their top 3 scorers, and Chicago at home, I think it's a very good spot to get some revenge on a team that lost to earlier this season. And I do think that Philadelphia, who has been without Embiid and Simmons, I can only think of really one time this season, and they lost to Denver pretty handily because they were both out for COVID purposes. At the end of the day, Chicago, simply put, is going to be at full strength or close to it based on the recent rotations it's been using. And Philadelphia is missing the main 2 cogs in its offense. Expect a lot of Tobias Harris isolations and expect a decent amount of 3-point shots from some role players. But at the end of the day, I think Chicago should do enough in order to win this game pretty handily. And I do think Philadelphia will struggle and then try to bounce back for its back-to-back game tomorrow with Embiid back in the lineup. Now, looking at some trends as well, Philadelphia might be good in this overall series, but it has been terrible in Chicago lately. Philadelphia is 2-6 ATS in its last 8 meetings in Chicago. So with all that being said, I'm going to be taking the Bulls -2.5 at -110 on BetMGM, and that will be the play of the day. So other than that, that's been Installment Scott Selections. Go to all of you and respect the best today. Bye, everyone.